Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel. This week, I want to spread some more science-denying misinformation on the topic of optimizing your training. You hear this word a lot online, and for good reason. We should always want to optimize our training and make it a little bit better as time goes on. And because science and data have become a really big part of the fitness and lifting community, largely due to the fact that the people who know science and understand the data can now come on social media and just share it with everybody as opposed to publishing a book or something like that. We hear a lot of these technical terms being used. This is the data, this is the research, this is the science on how to optimize your training. And that's awesome. I'm glad that that resource is there. I'm really grateful for all the people putting in the time and the effort to try and collect all this data and make sense of it. But you have to remember that you have to fit that within the context of your own situation, because a lot of times what is true in a technical sense in a research paper, or even how somebody on social media expresses something that is technically true, is not necessarily going to be correct for you. And I talk about this quite a bit in my last video, how to become a lifting centrist. If you like this video, you should go back and watch that one, because it's going to expound a lot more on what I'm talking about here. But to give you an example of what I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody 2 days ago, and they said, I saw a post by Lane Norton, who I'm a fan of, and he said that if you do cardio in the same session that you're doing hypertrophy work, that could have some negative side effects in regards to how much hypertrophy you experience for whatever reason. There's some type of interference effect or something like that. And I had to help this person understand that, yes, that may be technically true in a clinical sense, but there's two things you need to keep in mind. One is that interference effect is probably really, really small relative to what you're thinking it is in your mind. You think, oh, if I do cardio in the same session that I do bicep curls, my arms aren't going to get bigger. No, that's not the case at all. There might be like a 0.025 difference in hypertrophic effect between sessions that are done with just lifting and sessions that are done lifting and cardio together. And so for a beginner intermediate athlete, you don't really need to worry about that because the difference is so small. You're not a professional bodybuilder trying to get to 300 pounds of abs, so it doesn't matter for you. But that's not even the worst part. Because he had seen maybe one or two different people say the data says that cardio and strength and hypertrophy training in the same session is less effective than separating it, he had said, okay, well, I'm going to separate my lifting sessions and my running sessions so that I can optimize, which is the scientific approach, right? Because he did this, he was very busy with a full-time job and a family and everything. He would end up actually not doing the cardio because he was either tired, and it's easy and fun to get in the lift after a day at work, but it's not easy and fun to get in a 3 to 5 mile run after work. So he would end up skipping the runs or doing less running than he wanted to do. And so even though he didn't mean to and wasn't making the conscious decision to skip cardio, this idea of like, I have to optimize my training according to the data and what the science says was kind of putting him in this position where he just wasn't doing any cardio at all. So I just had to help him understand that whatever small downside there might be to lifting and doing cardio in the same session, it's going to be far outweighed by consistently doing your cardio every week and not skipping it. And so I told him he should set the goal to go into the gym and do cardio first before he even lifts. That way, if he has to go home early and misses part of the workout, he's not skipping cardio again because he already got it done. And then he doesn't reach the end of the workout and say, okay, I'm at my most tired, now it's time to do cardio, where you're going to be more likely to skip it or say, I'll do it later, which is code for I'm not going to do it. So even though the information that he was trying to implement into his training was correct and it was of good quality, it checked all the academic boxes off, it was quote unquote the facts, it wasn't the best thing for him to do at that time and place. In other words, what was optimal was not optimal. So even if you're setting aside all the cherry-picked, watered-down, misinterpreted pseudoscience that you see online, and you're just dealing with high-quality, good information, you still have to look at it like this is one brick in the wall of the house that I'm trying to build. Ultimately, science's job is not to tell you the truth, but to reduce uncertainty. And I think if you approach information that way when it comes to your training, you're going to be a lot better off. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.